All right. Start virtual camera. Do the little things, doing the little things. Turn on camera. Why? I don't understand why my settings just get every time I start Discord on this. Um, so Discord updates, right? Now, every time I restart Discord, like if I turn my computer off, turn it back on, and I start up Discord, I lose all of my video and audio settings. And so it wants to default to like my webcam for its microphone and a bunch of stuff like that. And it's like I got audio routing and a bunch of stuff going on that Discord just continuously just wants to reset my settings. I can't have this. I just can't have it. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Yeah, possibly operator error, but seemingly now this has happened 2 or 3 times in a row. Or when I go to start up my computer for the podcast, because every time I do a reset on the computer, clear the cache, all that type of stuff. So then I start fresh. All my settings should be active. My microphones should be input and all that. And it's just Discord seemingly just wants to screw it up every time. And on OBS, I tell OBS to never update because when it updates, then it screws up more settings. So, operator error for sure. Yeah, for sure. CC cleaner to uninstall Discord, clean everything using the program, kill the page file, run scanner, install Discord. Uh, hmm, I don't know. That might be an issue. I have CC cleaner. I also have ADW cleaner too. Malwarebytes. Um, they've done me pretty well in the past. What's up, Sheev? Haven't seen you in a long time. We'll get the show started here just in a few minutes as we'll allow for people to come in. Got some spicy things for you today. Some leaks. Can't wait to get to that. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And we do have a lot of new joins as well. So somebody shared our link somewhere. Typically after I do an announcement, I'm like, okay, somebody shared a link, and then you get a bunch of people joining. So it's a good deal. Welcome everybody. All right. Hello, hello. Chuckle's gonna make everybody's day better. That's good. I'm just hoping for the best on the football game today, so that if you can make my day there, that would be good. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. My guest hasn't joined the chat yet. Come on now. He'll be here next. I just DM'd him in case he has all his other servers muted, which I wouldn't be surprised. But did send him another message here. Bum. All right, top of the hour. Good thing. We got some things to talk about by the time that he does end up joining, so no problem there. Raid alert. We are getting the raid alert. I do the alert AOA soundbite, but it might blow out your ears. Dang, almost full, and dang, guest isn't even here yet. Oh, that's a major rip. Uh-oh. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, get this thing going. And let's see here. Hate you sometimes. I seriously hate this. Okay. Shall we? Get this thing going here. Do the alert. Freaking get this thing off my screen.
The Echoes of New Eden podcast starts now. Enjoy the show.
From the content creators that bring you the lowest effort content imaginable. You know, the ones that brought you info that devs don't want you to know about. The podcast you probably don't want your girlfriend to know about.
Who?
And will most likely get you banned just for talking about it. Raw, uncut, and uncensored.
We want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Maybe try some mining or something. Remember not to undock anything you can't afford to lose.
Welcome to the Echoes of New Eden podcast. Let's start this bitch.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome to Echoes of New Eden podcast. Though I don't have to tell you that. We're here live on the Discord. Welcome, everybody. A lot of newcomers this time around. So thank you for joining the Discord. As always, you can also check out the YouTube. We do the YouTube video every week as well. So welcome, everybody. And yeah, we got some things to talk about this week for Eve Echoes news and what's coming up and all that type of stuff. And it is just I, Rambo. No Yubi today, no other co-host as far as I'm aware of. And, Juby had some things come up this weekend. So I don't really want to get too personal about it, but he is needing support right now. So I just hope everything is well with him and his family. But we shall continue on with the show. And yes, I am rocking the Chiefs shirt today because, yes, indeed, even though you don't see it or hear it, I do have the game on and I am watching it. So no need to do score updates. I am watching it, so I can't miss a minute. I can't miss a minute, and it's a must win for us. So I mean, I gotta rock the Mahomes shirt. Yeah, that's right. So you don't hear it or anything. It is on my computer because I got it muted. That's probably for copyright excuses, right? But I'm gonna be watching the game, and hopefully we don't get too distracted with it. So, all right, then yeah, we will get this show on the road. Yeah, dang, full audience today. So thanks guys for coming, joining the podcast, and joining the studio live here. And I think this is the best way to view it. Well, I mean, that could be debatable too. I prefer listening to the podcast version in my car as I'm driving to work. But you know, if people can attend here at the live show, that's always good as well. So let me change over to my face cam because I got some DMs going. All right, so let's see here. Sorry, just having to DM my guest here because seemingly something had come up, and so I'm just trying to see whether or not he is going to join sooner or later. But while we wait for that, we got some juicy things coming up, and I had found that there were some leaks that had happened on some discords around, and oh, sorry, the stage is full. Geez, somebody just posted a B-Town. Come on now. Okay, so B-Town had already had the basically what I'm going to be reading and going over right now. There was some leaks for the next version update that was released on QQ. And actually, I do have the browser up here, the browser version. Yes, there we go. People can see it on a video. So this was posted on QQ. We have some version leaks. As Sancho's raid sweeps in, new faction ships and nanocores will make their grand debut. And so, of course, they got a lot of fluff here, and this is all translated off of this website. So from Chinese to English for viewing pleasure and for translating, so I'm at least able to talk about something. And we'll pick this apart and see what's all good with it, right? So the frenzy has arrived. Assemble to prepare for battle. Eve Echo's mobile game will be available soon. November 27th, the launch of the new version, Sancho's Raid, has a new permanent gameplay mode. Sancho Raid is now available. So like I said, the translation just breaks this from the English or from the Chinese to the English. So, I mean, for the most part, we do have this event coming up November 27th. So that is, well, that's Thanksgiving here in the United States. And actually, before I go any further, that reminds me, I'm not going to have a show next week because I'm going to be going out of town for Thanksgiving. And that's usually it. I don't prepare. I don't really do anything because it's the holiday and I'm going out of town. Now that I was reminded of that and that's out of the way, we'll continue on. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the next maintenance patch update. You know, we'll probably get more info for sure when we get the patch notes coming up this next week. But according to this, it says November 27th, which for me is on a Thursday. And so, well, I mean, that sounded dumb. I mean, it should be Thursday for November 27th. But regardless, it's weird that the game would come out with an update on a Thursday. I would more so think that it's going to be on Wednesday for the patch notes, the maintenance time generally, right? So at about 1 a.m. my time, Wednesday, we should get the new patch. But regardless, It'll have a new gameplay mode, Sancha Raid. The Order of Chaos of New Eden is in your hands. Participate in the gameplay for a chance to win. The all-new Sancha, I don't know why I keep putting an N in there, is Sasha, Faction's Assault Carrier. The Ascendant class. Now, we do have some photos of this ship coming up here, so we'll talk about that here in a second. Meanwhile, the highly anticipated Panstar market has reopened. A brand new pixel-style limited edition core, Falling Snow and Shattered Ice, major debut, new additions, upgradable weapon effects, ignite the vast galaxy with icy blue flames. Latest version information is here. Come check it out. All right, so Sasha Technology has achieved a major breakthrough, mastering a new technique for discovering and constructing wormholes. This technology allows them to quickly travel to their target star system and retreat in time. This time, they will launch a surprise attack on the 4 Imperial star systems. At that time, the economy, transportation, and combat systems of the corresponding star system will be negatively affected. So it almost just sounds like faction warfare there. November 27th, the new gameplay mode Sasha Raid officially launches. The Sasha Elite Fleet will launch daily raids on random low security star systems. Pilots can join the defense front. They could be directly deployed to the star system attacked by the Sasha via the 4 major empires, high and low security space stations to carry out combat operations. Pirates disguised as any faction, they participated in Sasha's raid. Okay, so that was just majorly broken right there. It didn't really make sense. Pirates disguised as any faction, they participated in Sasha's raid. They may participate. I'm not sure. So here they, on the QQ at least, they had provided us some screenshots here, or just some images. And so this first one being this new Sasha class carrier. And I do believe it's a carrier from what I've was looking through other stuff, people talking about it. Now this image in general, I have a feeling that this is going to be our new splash screen. So when you log into the game, this is what that screen you'll be getting is. Now, I don't know that for sure, but I've seen it a couple times, and I guess it's an educated guess, right? So we got the ship there, got a bunch of ships in the background, some people on there, so it does look pretty cool. All right, and so here's the screenshot of this Sasha carrier. At the same time, the new Sasha Republic faction's Ascension class warship first appearance can be participated in Sasha raid. Get Sasha strike flotilla debris obtained through reverse engineering. Who will be the first pilot to pilot it? Pilots get ready to join this thrilling interstellar raid. So there's another screenshot of it, just kind of the side view of it here. And yeah, I mean, if you like these kinds of things, it kind of looks like a bug, like a dragonfly without the wings. It's got kind of some eyes on the front of it. I don't know. It's very interesting. Let's say that. It's very interesting looking. So take with it what you will. Exist. The gift of winter's sleep themed Panstar market at the start of its missions. New Eden faces a cyber intrusion crisis. The encounter mission system has been hacked by sleepers, and some Sasha cyber enthusiasts have also infiltrated the fray. Pilots are needed to gather evidence of the sleepers and Sasha's cyber intrusion and work together to resolve this crisis. When colorful blocks meet the cold light of ice and snow, the brand new pixel-style limited edition core, Falling Snow and Shattered Ice, introducing its dazzling debut. Beneath its adorable pixelated exterior lies unparalleled control, making it a master of battlefield chaos. This update also includes upgradable weapon effects. By upgrading the core level and other methods, you can continuously unlock cooler weapon hit effects, making the ice blue pixel fireworks shine in New Eden. All right, so here's the screenshot of this. And so when I first saw this, granted you see it here on some on the supers, of course, right? And then but this, strangely enough, these look like the super vacs. But regardless, the first time I saw this, I was like, "Oh, look, it's a Christmas present nanocore." We have gift wrap now on our spaceships. So I did have a chuckle with it, and I was telling my wife about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have gift wrap, type of nanocores now." But then after referring back to the screenshot, kind of taking a closer look to it, you do see like it's got some snow effects on it, and it's got some like pixelated box looking things on it, and on top of the design. I'm sure you could probably change the colors of this too. In the screenshots, it's a lot of reds and greens. And so at least you can kind of get the idea as to what we're looking at as far as the nanocore goes. And now, as far as its effects, seems like it's introducing upgradable weapon effects. And so if we're going to be shooting flames or whatever else, this seems to be the first nanocore that you'd be able to do that. And I guess, just by upgrading the core level, you can unlock cooler weapon hit effects. Like in this case, the ice blue pixel fireworks shine. So that's interesting as well. And I'm not sure if even then some of the other nanocores would be able to get those effects too. So interesting enough. We're going to end up having to sell kidneys and organs in order to get this core for at least the capital ones. Now, I'm not sure about the battleship variants or maybe just, the T1 carriers, how much those are going to cost. But yeah, these ones are probably going to be pretty expensive when it comes to the draws or how much AUR you're going to need to buy to be able to get this. So, of course, people are used to that by now. I mean, it is Eve Echoes 2025. Yeah. Looks like a turd. Yeah. So we've seen this in the past. I think we've even talked about this. Heck, shoot, had to have been like over a year ago when we were saying that this was like added to the game, or some of the screenshots were leaked from some beginning of the year. It's like, oh, what's coming for this year, type of thing, and then those screenshots were leaked. See, there is an N in there, Sancha's Nation. So it must just be part of the translation. They don't like having the end in Sancha for whatever reason. So Pirate Faction Supercarrier Revenant class. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, the stage is full. Yeah, major rip. Major rip. The stage is full. And yeah, so we are currently locking out a number of people that cannot attend the live show. So pay rewind 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of just going over some of the comments on this as to what people are thinking about this. Are you going to get the ship? Are you a Sancha fan? Do you like it? Are you going to get it? Or are we going to get it in a box and people are going to get it anyway? I don't know. It's interesting. So, yeah, definitely an interesting ship. And if it's a super carrier, okay, interesting. So, what does Sancha even use? Lasers? Pretty sure it's lasers, right? I don't ever fly Sancha stuff. But I think of Nightmare and Succubus, laser and shield. Yeah, laser and shield. Interesting combo. I like it. I actually do like the Sancha type ships. I just don't ever fly lasers. Crazy combo, yeah, for sure. So that was it for that one. And then as far as the official Eve Echoes Discord, they have what's called an update preview. Again, Sasha's raid. They forget the end, or the N. They just don't believe in Sancha's raid or Sasha's raid. I don't know if Sasha is the name of the character who's raiding or what, but here you go. We get another screenshot of some of the beautiful artwork that they are doing with this ship, and of course you see, you got some fiends in there, some nightmares. Phantasm, whatever you want to call it. Probably some succubus in there, but either way, Sanchez Nations ship in this artwork. So it's a pretty good artwork there. Opening time, Session Invasion launch, permanent content on 11/26/2025. So that is that Wednesday, this next Wednesday. Panstellar Bazaar duration, 11/26. And that goes to Christmas Eve, 12/24. So that's the event, the duration of the event. Here they have it called Panstellar Bazaar, which is interesting. Sasha's Raid. System disruption. Elite Sasha fleets will launch daily raid into random low security systems, disrupting their economic, traffic, and combat systems. So this is interesting as to whether or not we will get like an icon like that system is under attack, or it's in like faction warfare or something like that, up on the map. So then people will be able to go and participate in this event, right? So I'd be interested to see how random this supposed randomness is when it's finding its low security systems, or if it's going to be kind of the popular ones based off of either pirates getting depleted or PvP content, that type of stuff, you know, for example, like Tama. And so yeah, I would just be interested to see what this is going to entail in this case. So, joint defense. Pilots can be deployed directly into the affected systems to join the fight from any one of the 4 major Empire stations in high sec or low sec space. Okay, so again, I don't really get much into the faction warfare type content within New Eden, though I do know somewhat of how it works. But here, I'm not sure if you're going to deploy into the system, if it's going to take your alliance standings out of it, or if you join it, or depending on how your faction's going to be, how it's going to affect your alliance standings and all that type of stuff. You know, blue on blue is going to happen, or are you just strictly facing this PvE event type thing, and standings may not matter? Is PvP going to be allowed in these systems at this time? You know, is Concord going to be attacking these people, etc., when this stuff happens? Because, I mean, granted, you would expect the fight to be at a planet or an asteroid field or something, right? And not on the gate. So if somebody ends up engaging another player, I guess it's a wait and find out as to what's all going to happen there. And of course, you know, you're going to have people losing supers and having an NE SRP. It's somebody's going to lose a super. All right. I might as well just stamp that and just say that's probably going to happen. But you never know as to how this is going to happen. Maybe it's bugged too. It's probably going to be bugged. Combat rewards. Rewards include Sasha Assault Frigate BPC fragments, Sasha Wormhole Scanner BPC fragments, Imperial medals, and faction loyalty points. Masquerade as pirates. Alternatively, pilots can masquerade as pirates of any faction to participate in the Sasha's raid. Okay. All right, new content. They have the new ship. And as far as I can tell, this is going to be the name of it. And sorry if I torture it, but I see Ecdysis. 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 So if I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. But that's kind of just how I see it. So that's the Republic Assault Carrier. Sasha Republic Assault Carrier, that's what it's called. New Panstellar Bazaar, the latest seasonal market is themed Hibernal Gift. Okay. I still don't really know for sure what the name of the nanocore is going to be, or really even the event. Just translation is so bad, and you know, we could say something today and then on Wednesday it's actually completely different. It's like, oh well, good thing, you know. Maybe it's for the better, who knows. But so okay, here we go. New nanocore. Here they're calling it the Snowfall Shatter. Beneath its cute 8-bit pixel art exterior, it's a master of chaos, specializing in applying random combinations of debuffs. Okay? Features upgradable weapon effects that unleash a torrent of firepower amidst a festive holiday atmosphere. Okay. So the in-game reward, participate in activities related to Sasha's raid to earn Imperial medals and loyalty points, with a chance to obtain a brand new Sasha Nation faction ship, the Ecdysis. So, and that was it. That was it based on the official Eve Echoes update preview. And this was released on 11/21, so just 2 days ago. This was posted on the official. Now, on the QQ website, I'm just trying to see when this was posted or published. I know there's a lot of comments on it. Some of the comments on here. The dry stool has finally come out. Some of the comments on there. People are saying it's ugly. The expose turned out to be a complete flop. Will adjust the intensity as you finish. First, let's have a big one to get everyone gathered here. So, this is probably only 24 hours or so old. This QQ update review. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's older than that, but that's basically all that we have to go off of currently right now as far as that goes. So if we go over to the official Eve Echoes Discord, of course, there's nothing for announcements or patch notes. So like we don't get patch notes updates anymore. So of course, it's having a hard time loading on my end at least. But as far as I know, we don't have any new announcements or anything. So 11/12, okay. Eminem is posting stuff, okay. So there's that. Nothing from last week. And then maybe we'll see something this next week because it's kind of like a event type thing. But that's basically it there. So yeah. Go back to the chat real quick here and kind of see what's all being said. People are going to be doing this event. I mean, granted, we're going to be doing the event naturally. So I'm just curious as to what else it has, for people to do. So I did not promise free cookies. I don't know where you got cookies. Somebody in the audience was promising free cookies. So it was not me, however. Cookies. Not even in my announcement was I saying free cookies. But regardless, you're fired. Please fire me from my own podcast, please. All right. So, and I wanted actually to go back to the official Eve Echoes Discord here, because here we have a few things that we need to discuss from Cloud. So a couple days ago, he was spotted on the official Eve Echoes Discord, and if you're watching the video, it's on the right side of my screen here. I just did a search from NetEase Cloud, and you could kind of just see some of the conversations and messages that he's sending, right? So this one I thought was pretty interesting. A couple days ago, he posted, customer service has banned some bots today. Based on past experience, a few players might complain in the general chat. Please contact the in-game customer support center first. If you insist that you are 100% innocent and customer support refuses to unban your account after review, please send me your ID to me. Not me, but that's to Cloud. And so I find that to be interesting on a couple of levels here. So first off, they're still banning bots. I mean, ultimately so, we're not getting the bot ban notice that they used to post weekly of however many accounts that they're catching. But seemingly they are still catching some, and people are getting caught up, or possibly, kind of caught in that experience, as in maybe they did something with a bot and then they were accused of being a bot. But that's what bots say, right? So at the end of the day, it still shows that they're still banning some bots. And so, I mean, that's good for the game. We can give them a hand clap, but either way, they're still working on that type of thing too. And then second off is there are actual players that are getting tripped as a bot in however they're trying to find these players. And of course those players generally take it to the general chat of the official Eve Echoes Discord to complain about or post their screenshots as to why they got banned and all that type of stuff. And so Cloud is offering you an out if you are wrongly accused of being a bot. You're able to at least contact him. That's if customer support refuses to unban your account. So yeah, that's interesting there. That is interesting. So more so, I was referring back to this conversation through Cloud because he has some ideas about the insurance. I know, right? Dun dun dun. Insurance. And so, this came across my desk and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. I don't know why 2025 all of a sudden now we're considering looking at this, considering the amount of issues insurance has caused in the past, how many reiterations it's had over the years and all that type of stuff. But I guess they're considering some new suggestions and ideas about insurance. They haven't been discussed with designers yet, or possibly any of the other game devs. But how this is going to affect game balance or Plex or ISK or any of that, they're probably trying to brainstorm and kind of figure out what the best case scenario is if they are going to make any adjustments to the insurance system. And so here, Cloud had discussed a few things. And so I think it started from a complaint about Plex, saying that there is no Plex. And then all of a sudden he's just talking about insurance. So here we go. So the first idea, consuming both ISK and insurance points simultaneously. So when you lose a ship, it's going to not only come with an insurance cost, but it's also going to have an ISK cost, which I find that to be interesting. Continuing on, removing the weekly insurance points and Omega bundle. So I believe that is that's a paid thing that you can do. You can do that daily thing. I think it gives you some materials and some IP. They also like to give us IP and the daily login rewards and all that type of stuff. Maybe that's what he's considering as weekly insurance points. Stuff that you get in rewards when you buy the Omegas, etc. Kind of that type of stuff. They're talking about removing that. So it's like, why would they want to remove this? Is because you would think that that would be causing a influx of insurance points when people are complaining about how expensive and on insurance points that some of these ships are, and that they're not getting enough insurance points. So I don't know. It kind of just seems like a weird thing there. Number 3, limiting the number of IPs that can be redeemed with Plex each month, encouraging Plex to be used more for purchasing Omega rather than insurance points. Take a second here to kind of gather this as to what he's trying to think here is, and it's not the idea, it's more of how it's going to get implemented and how it affects people in the game. So limiting the number of insurance points that can be redeemed with Plex each month, encouraging Plex to be used more for purchasing Omega. So say a super gets destroyed out there and somebody wants to IP it, and so they will use their Plex to purchase insurance points instead of purchasing Omega or selling the Plex on the market. And so they are going to just instead burn that Plex to go toward insurance points to get their ship back. So it seems like Cloud is taking that negatively on the Plex market, and maybe that's why it was brought up in the first place as to why there's no Plex. It's because people are using Plex as an IP generator there. So, and granted, people will spend AUR, convert it to Plex, and then and then shoot it to IP anyway. So it's interesting how they're trying to maybe even consider changing that. And then 4, this is their last idea here, removing corp insured's contracts, returning all acquisition orders to JITA, adding an auction feature for valuable items. So I find this one we can ponder as well. The corp insurance contracts. Now, if your corporation has that add-on for the Citadel where they can they take a ship loss and then that generates a corp order, and your industry can decide to fulfill that order for ISK, all that type of thing. So I wonder if it's that. Can't think of the name of that freaking add-on right now. But if it's that, so they would consider removing that, but return that acquisition instead to JITA and adding an auction feature for valuable items. So when somebody in HiSec loses a CNC, then it has a chance of getting onto that JITA market, right? As for somebody to fulfill as a buy order. But then how it's going to turn into an auction is kind of interesting as well there. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. But yeah, it's another money-making opportunity. So you can thank your CNC pilots for allowing that. So I just thought this was pretty interesting as far as it being Iveco's 2025, and they're considering some more changes to the insurance. So, you know, if anybody's got any ideas, I guess he's taking suggestions. they're kind of brainstorming some things now, and so, you know, it did seem like he was in the general chat here doing a little bit of Q&A for a while. The massive ore reserves of the various alliances would instantly create countless ISKs, which is not feasible. Get ships, which are then purchased and destroyed by insurance companies. This market is determined by the needs of all real players. Notice he used all real players. Get ISK is determined by the high-level bots that are difficult to catch. Okay, so seemingly he acknowledges there are some issues going on here. Yeah, you just kind of have to work past the translation and kind of figure out what he's trying to say here. If you don't build your ships in advance, you are hard to snag a JITA acquisition order. Oh man, who's got the screenshot of the what was it, a Midgard on the market for 1.2? I think it was like 1.3 or 1.4 T. Who's got that? Congratulations to that pilot. I seen it somewhere. I don't know. Maybe the screenshot's floating around, but yeah, it's out there for sure. Yeah. There it is right there. Thank you, Zambot. Let me go back here, switch over to chat. So there it is. Somebody was selling a Midgard on the market for 1.3 T. Just imagine how much is going to get taken out just in taxes. Is it even worth it? Yeah, what's that broker tax? That's what I want to know. Interesting. So here, what's this? 120,000 Plex. And in Plex has gone down too a little bit. Wow, required in total $4,349.56. It's kind of funny how they they converted that to what it's going to cost you out of pocket. It's interesting. Yeah, that is okay. So that's good screenshot right there. That's funny. Either way, you're broke too, B-Town. I don't know how you can get away with billions in theft and be broke. Oh, rip. That was one of his spy accounts. That's so. Yeah, blame everything on him. Yeah. Yeah, so that's interesting to see a Midgard being on the market, and you know, if this was EE 2021 and there was capital super caps on there, that's a different story. But nowadays, it's like there's no reason to put that on the market because of how the taxes work and all that stuff. And so, and if nobody buys it, that pilot's going to eat those taxes. And then if he decides to list it again, it's just bad. I don't know who's doing this. Wish we could find out a name. Yeah. I don't know. Gibbs is still on the cookies. Somebody give this dude some cookies. Sheev gives cookies on his live stream. Okay. Well, congratulations, Sheev. He's giving cookies out on his streams. And he denies it. Yeah, he denies it. All right. So, yeah. Won't occasionally after the IPO, there's a chance for the whole to be put on the market automatically. Now, that used to be the case. And I believe that was the case up to we got that corp insurance add-on to where you'd be able to basically that stuff has a chance to generate for the corporation to fulfill. Now, what it did to the market, I actually have no idea. I don't have any numbers to back that up. Ideally, I haven't really heard anybody complain about it not being a thing compared to every time a ship dies, there's a buy order up or something like that. I don't know if that's to be true. That maybe that's a cloud question. Yeah, only generate buy orders, not sell orders. Yeah, I believe that to be true. Only buy orders. So, all right. So that was it that I had for basically game news, right? So we have some upcoming events, nanocores, probably some swipe boxes, all that type of stuff to look forward to. And I guess we could only anticipate how all that's going to handle, be how that's all going to come about. But are you going to participate in the event? Are you going to spend $50? Are you a what do you call them? A spender? Remember we talked about it last week with Doomsy and Afish about spenders in this game, and the occasional spender will probably get something out of this nanocore or out of this event. I mean, to possibly get that nanocore, but you never know. You never know. Pretty sure they removed Concord ships from being able to gen orders, or at least made it 1% to get one. Yeah, interesting. Interesting indeed. Trying to get the update on the score here. Dang, 7-3. Shoot. Come on, Chiefs. Come on, I gotta kick it into gear here. Where's the special guest at? All right, so let me check my DMs here. Let me go back over here. Check my DMs. So I had Stony from TSC to be on. How do I listen? I just got a text message saying, "How do I listen to the live podcast?" on my phone. Yeah, that's funny right there. All right, stage. That's if you can. It might just be full. But regardless, I had Stony scheduled to join, and he had agreed to it and all of that. And apparently he's experiencing some real life events and won't be available today. And he had, I'm not going to get too personal, but he had something come up, but he does want to talk. And so then I was like, are you going to be late? And then I didn't get an answer there. So, better late than never, I would always say. But I'm not sure if he is in the audience. I haven't checked. Let me check real quick to see if he's made it. But basically, I wanted to have Stony on for, and basically an update on what's going on with TSC. And, we kind of hinted it last week, and this has been going on for a number of weeks, was a war down in the south, TSC versus Nice, and then, Loco is kind of involved there. And I see Bell is in the audience too, so I'd be interested to hear from him as to what's going on down there. I see somebody else from Nice too, so I don't know if there's any people that can speak on behalf of what's all going down there. But I was going to get kind of an update from Stony to to talk about that and what's all going on with that. So Rambo, we have one meow exact. He would be as same as take all of his guests. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to having anybody on as a guest. So I mean, if they want to come up here and talk, we can. Granted, my guest is late, so we have some time to burn. Let's just say everything is on fire. Is Dead somehow involved in that as well? D Town? They're gonna take K4 back, yeah. Perhaps. Good stuff. Is Dead gonna take back K4? That'd be interesting. All right, Bell, raise your hand. I'm gonna get Bell on. I hope he is willing to talk here. Go, Bell. Go, go, go. Invite to speak. All right, what's up, Bell?
Hey.
Is this the first
Yeah,
time you've
thank
been
you
on?
for inviting me.
Is this
Sorry, can you repeat?
Is this the first time you've been on the podcast as far as like in the chat? I think so.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay, welcome. And thank you for coming on and being a listener.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
So
how can I help?
I was talking to Stony a couple days ago through some chats and, through some others as well through TSC and just trying to get some info on what's all going down there. And I did hear that Loco is involved. Now I'm not sure as to what extent. Maybe you can clear that up as to your involvement in it and what you've been doing. But it seems like there's like a number of sides down there in the south that people are taking. You have any info on that? Or what you can share? I mean,
Well, I am definitely involved. So basically, I'm defending me and Nice together
okay.
Against the aggression from TSC. I don't know if what your question is about because the war now has been going on for several months.
Yeah.
I think since July the 1st. So yeah, I can try to ask you questions if you have some, but I don't know where to start if you just ask me generally.
And that's fair because I mean I'd
war.
asked you kind of on the spot all that type of stuff, and even then for Stony, like I had generic questions as to what was the cause of this, and then you kind of hinted it there as you're helping defend Nice, and so from what I've understood out of this war was TSC feels like they are defending Nice in a way from the rest of New Eden because they're acting as the shield. TSC, I mean, so they're acting like a shield. So what they what they feel is that they don't want to be doing that anymore. So that's why they kind of declared this war upon Nice and try and get them involved. And then it involved like clearing out outposts and all sorts of stuff like that too. So then you've sided with Nice to help defend them. Is that just per relations, or is TSC kind of trying to put the strong arm on you as well?
Well, I don't really remember in the last 4 years when TSC defended Nice, so I don't know who said that. Actually, it was the opposite way, if I remember correctly, through the Krepko War. or since the Krapko War, like everyone was helping TSC actually. I was, and Knives was as well. So I don't have this picture of reality. I don't know who said that, but the war basically started with after the Void War in Delph, and TSC decided. Well, actually, everyone was a bit surprised because no one knew about their decisions and motivations in the beginning. So, as long-term friends, I think Nice was looking forward to have some talks because basically Stony and Beast did not have any contacts to Nice during the last years. And it turned out that they actually want to some kind of enslave Nice, like kind of 2022 like, to condense into 3 systems to sell out period basis, was promised to sell out to some botters to fund for their leadership, to fund some stuff in their alliance. And yeah, it turned out that their motivations were really malicious. Nothing like game like, or let's have some content, or let's do something together or against each other. But it was like pretty specifically said by Bees, especially. Nice has to condense into 3 systems. He will rent out the rest of period basis, and they need to pay him, like, if I remember correctly, 20 bill per system per month or something like that. Or to quit the game or to move to Jita. And well, at this point, I decided to set TSC gray as well and help Nice because I cannot support such a behavior. We're playing a game together and our player base is decreasing every year.
Right.
And consciously to try to push people out of the game for malicious reasons, to do some RMT stuff or whatever was the plan in the background, which I don't really know. But it has nothing to do with having content and fun for people in the game. Also, not for their own people. It was just driven by some egoistic reasons. I don't know. And yeah, they made an announcement that they will overrun period basis within 2 weeks and move everyone to JIT and fulfill that plan. Well, that's now
Backfired.
5 months. It's now 5 months ago.
So yeah, the Swift campaign wasn't so swift as proposed, right?
Exactly. And but actually, it turned out that it was actually, it has a lot of positive, or had a lot of positive effects for Nice. I saw a group of great people enjoying the game again and sticking together, working together, and playing the game as it is meant to be, and not just about collecting taxes and ISK and RMT bullshit. So it was a great time, actually, to watch all the people working together, helping each other, defending themselves. I was proud to be there and support them. Well, but I think recently there were some issues on the other side because more and more stuff got discovered, probably, or revealed. And if I understood correctly, Bees actually quit the game. Some corporations were banned for caught cheating and RMTing. And the other members, like, probably get a lot of intel what's going on in the background in TSC. So this toxic behavior gets more and more public. And but I really don't have the internal intel on that. So I would be curious to hear from Stony what's going on.
Yeah,
because
for
I
sure.
can imagine that he's also not fully aware of what's going on there himself.
Yeah, and
so was looking forward to hear from him from your announcement. And yeah,
I mean, and I was too.
waiting for
Obviously,
him
you know,
to
I wouldn't
hear
have
something.
pinged it otherwise if had I known that he was going to be a no show or be late. But Real quick, I wanted to refer back to my conversation when I was initially asking about this, and I'll quote somebody who I was talking to about it. Uh, Looking at the map, Nice, who was respected a lot and admired by their tenacity and wherewithal the general fleets, benefited from our physical barrier to the universe. So seemingly, TSC
Can
kind
you
of felt like
repeat
a
that,
shield.
please, one more time for that?
Looking at the
Could you
map,
repeat that, please?
looking at the map, that Nice, who we respected a lot and admired their tenacity, and wherewithal to generate fleets, benefited from our physical barrier to the universe.
Well, I don't know which physical barrier is meant there. I don't see any physical barriers in the universe.
So I
At
don't know.
least not that kind of. I think the universe is a lot of vast space in real and in the game. So I don't really understand what physical barriers meant there. But yeah, that's in my opinion, it was a well created propaganda, but not really touching the reality.
Hmm.
In fact, I mean, for people who are following those stuff the last years, um, TSC had a lot of friends, right? Me included, the last years. Um, and somehow, since the crab covers, they made it to make like enemies out of all friends they had. And one reason for sure was the attitude in politics. And another reason, which at least I can witness, um, that their friends helped them when help was needed, but actually they never returned that favor. And I think that led to a lot of diplomatic relationships to break on that side. And I would blame mainly the TSC leadership for that.
Hmm.
But maybe it's not my take to do that. It's just my opinion. They could have done better, but it's also a hard job to lead an alliance for years. So maybe they should have asked more people to support on that when they had no time to do it. But in fact, all their friends, when they got into trouble and asked TSC for help, they did not receive the help they expected, at least, according to their opinions on that. And so I don't really see this statement coming true that TSC was a physical barrier and defending someone from the universe, because, yeah, just did not happen.
Okay.
In fact, NICE had several wars and aggressments where TSC did not do anything about it.
All right. Yeah. So I just see here too more conversation. Who is it? To their credit, they seem to enjoy clearing stain of POSs. So it sounds like Stained has gotten wiped a couple times. Oddly enough, that was
Oh
a
yeah, I
pun.
think there are some roundabout 300 postlots available if people need some postlots.
So yeah. Stain has gotten nuked a couple times, so there's a number of POSs there, and then I was curious as to what that number was, and one of my questions to Stony was kind of on the numbers, is with supers going down, I believe both sides have lost supers, as well as the number of posses and citadels that have gone down. So, um, do you happen to know any of that type of stuff?
Well, yes, yes, I care about that. So since beginning of the war until today, TSC got 5 systems in period basis and Tosist, like close to the border to Delft, and they time zone tanked that pretty well, which was promising a lot of content, but actually did not happen because there are no players around beside the CTAs. Really, there were a lot of PvP players to have some fun with, like non-toxic content. But most of those players already left TSC because of some internal toxic
Hmm.
issues. I don't know. Maybe they can explain that better. So Nice lost 5 citadels since beginning of the war. TSC had or lost since beginning of the war 300 posses, 301, sorry, until now. So yeah, the Nice is doing well defending themselves and responding to all the accusations and insults, being cockroaches and blah blah blah. I think they're doing well.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'm supporting that.
nice. Now, I don't really have a contact for anybody in Nice, as far as like an alliance leader or anything like that. Though I'd be curious, to hear from them as well. But Chuckles seems to be giving you some beef in the on-air chat, so I don't know who Chuckles is, but if they're in leadership, I'd be interested to hear what they had to say. Stop running your mouth, yeah, rip. Um, Now, as far as involvement goes from around New Eden, I do see some kill mills of like SHH corporations on it, some AOA type stuff. ODF SF is on some kill mills here for a TSC. So, like, what's going on as far as the involvement outside of just these three entities?
Sorry, was it a question to me or to someone else?
I guess it could be to you. Are you seeing this as a what would you call it? Like a content generator for entities that are not involved with the war? They just want to come in and disrupt, or are they somewhat in part of the war?
I would strongly disagree with that. I don't think that's content creator. I think that at least what I hear from all the people involved or involving themselves into that is that that's something like how to say um, a long time awaited opportunity for being aggressed and watching or being a victim of the toxic behavior to pay back. And I think that's a fact which people maybe don't want to know or to accept. But yeah, I mean, most of those guys and most of Nice and me myself, I mean, I was maybe the longest friend of TSC myself since the beginning. And I know that there are a lot of good people, a lot of good dudes to play with and have fun with, and nothing of this is happening because of that. Like no one is coming to Delve to hunt them because they're all idiots or something like that. In fact, that's not the case. It's just the what I, at least that's my opinion. What I hear from all those people, caused by very toxic behavior during the last years by TSC leadership to them. And yeah, they have like a standing that it's a very, very toxic alliance. And yeah, people want to pay back some old bills and old
Sure.
beefs, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've always known you to be in the South area, so I'm not sure if you're a part of Gen Fed or anything like that, but from as long as I've known you in New Eden, you've always been down south, like in that area, and kind of been doing your own thing with Loco. So when I heard that you were part of this, I was like, what? Bell's part of this? Like, why? But understandably, thank you for coming on and kind of clearing this up as well. You're helping defend Nice, and it seems like that there's a number of entities out there defending Nice as well against TSC too. So that's pretty good. And in the on-air chat, Red Maiden from Nice had said that you said all that there was needed to say, and you're a solid bloke. So there you go. As far as what anything from Nice would have to say on here. So And so now the toxic portion of TSC show begins. It's interesting that you said that Bees had quit the game. I don't know that for sure, though I don't really keep tabs on him um, as far as that goes. But anytime that I think of TSC, I pretty much think of Stony, as the leader of that. And to my knowledge, Bees wasn't really my go-to contact as far as anything. But I can't really say that as an alliance leader or anything. I just didn't really deal with bees. But having Stony on the show in the past, and then figured that he could probably tell us something as to what's going on here. I was able to get some information, but Bell, you did a good job with kind of clearing that up, and not necessarily clearing it up, but kind of addressing maybe some of the conflict that has been going on down there. And as of today, and this question is for you, Bell. As of today, how would you say the war is going? Do you think negotiations are coming to an end to kind of end this? Is it ramping up, and is it getting, I guess, more intense as far as passes and citadels being taken, or has it become stale?
Well, the first part of the question is easy to answer. Um, there are no negotiations. I haven't seen any diplomatic contacts since months. Like TSC went, well, the basic contacts were like Stony and Bees, especially Bees. And after a lot of insults and threatening and playing the big man and trying to do some mental pressure games on people in a game, he went radio silence, like I think 2 months ago or something like that, maybe three. For sure, a long time. So there are no current negotiations, and then did not have been since beginning of the war actually. So I don't see any negotiations at the moment who could end this war unless they are not initiated. The second part of the question, well, it's actually very, very simple. It's not the rocket science. Like TSC attacked and is still attacking nice, and nice is defending itself until the end. So if TSC would like to end this war, they can just do it, but they're not doing it. So it goes on.
All right. Yeah, and to my knowledge, I thought there was something as far as a negotiation at least happening, but I don't know if that's from a third party, or if that's from leadership or anything like that. I'm just not sure as to what's all going on at that level.
No, well, as I can just repeat for sure that there are no negotiations on the alliance level like TSC is negotiating with Nice or me. This is not happening. Of course, there are contacts where individual corporations are reaching out, trying to negotiate something. They recognize that this war is pointless. They are not supporting it. There were several requests also to leave TSC and join NICE, which is kind of difficult because, during a war, to just leave one alliance and join the other one is technically difficult, maybe. So, what I saw is that then many of those people just left TSC as members and joined other alliances and corporations. But that's, today actually, or the last days, few people contacted me and I was invited in a new Diplo Discord, and I was expecting, okay, someone wants to talk about it. But then I was told, like, by Stony, oh, no, it's just like a normal procedure because we have a new Discord and we are inviting people to represent themselves in the Discord, but we have nothing to say to you. Oh, okay, then I leave again.
Interesting. Isn't that what Diplo is?
As I said, no one initiated any talks, so I don't know what to say about it.
Did you end up leaving that Diplo Discord?
Yes, because
Okay.
I asked specifically, like, okay, guys, why did you invite me? Do you have something to say? Should we talk about something? And Stony said, not to this point. We just invited you because we have, if I understood correctly, I'm paraphrasing, but I was just invited because there's a new Diplo Discord invented because Bees left and quit, and there is a new Diplo in place and creating a new Diplo server. Um, just for the sake of being there. And I said, hey, okay, I have no desire to be here. If you have nothing to talk, I will leave and ping me when you want to talk about something. So that was the only diplomatic talks until now.
Hmm. Okay. That is interesting. Yeah, that is interesting indeed. And I would have figured that at least something was going to be negotiated, as far as what's all going on with that. But yeah, I just find that to be interesting. So Chuckles to the podium and in Stoney's place. I don't know. If Chuckles wants to come in here and tell jokes, I mean, that's okay and all. But ultimately, I'm trying to get Stoney on, and supposedly he should be close to being able to join us here. So maybe we can hear from both sides because that would be best overall too. I'd like to hear from both sides as to what's all going on with it. And Bell, thank you again for coming on and speaking about this. Definitely appreciate your time and joining. So maybe Bell Stoney debate
Yeah,
can
sure.
happen.
Thank you.
So yeah, I don't know if Stoney's gonna for sure join. I know he was delayed, but ultimately this just started with me, hearing about it and then hearing some of the numbers and seeing some of the kill mails and all this. And it's like, okay, well, I heard about all the POSs that had gone down. I'd heard that there is a feud, though I don't know what it's over, right? And so as I'm getting info, in the last week, couple weeks, and it's like, okay, so maybe we should talk about it. Is there something going on with it? Now, I did hear from another source that something might spark like a negotiation to end it, though I don't know about that. Granted, I don't even know their affiliation with the war, and that's kind of the thing about it is like, okay, let's actually get people in a seat and kind of talk about this and figure out what's all going on. And as wars can last for years at this point, and we've seen that happen before. And reasoning is often one of the cases, like, oh well, we didn't like their leadership model and so we are going to attack them, blah blah blah. Or another alliance wants to strong arm another alliance to make them become renters and ultimately more money for the wallet, etc. um Now if it's over regions and that type of stuff, and being neighbors, bad neighbors are a thing. And so if that's the view of these alliances toward each other, that's just interesting considering how these alliances have been neighbors for a really long time. So it makes you wonder as to why all of a sudden now type of thing. So, all right, I'm getting pinged for a screenshot here in the on-air chat. Kill bots in VAE land, but do not tell others. So GHS has been kind of been on the watch for a long time now for botting. Um, I think even TSC probably knows that, and they're in TSC. So yeah, I don't really know what's all going on with that. Rosalind's getting some lost mails. Yeah, at least he's participating in it. Yeah. VAE bots. Now, there was one time where I had made that statement, and then I was approached to then have to like back up my statement, like provide proof. Now, nobody, not even I, have direct proof as to whether or not they actually bought, but it comes through just having contacts of people that are in that kind of realm as to if they're dealing with contracts from people that are in high sec or low sec, and they're buying things and trading things and all this type of stuff. And then there's certain corps that end up getting their eyes, kind of shined on them as to what's all going on maybe inside that corp or leadership as to how they're able to acquire such things. And that's where it kind of comes down into botting, so even though the accusation is there, I don't really have proof of it. Now then you see chat as in people talking about killing bots from that corp, and it's like, oh well, interesting indeed. Report them to cloud, maybe they're not bots. Bell, do you happen to see a lot of botting activity in New Eden from your view? I don't want to get into specifics, but I'll just say New Eden.
Yes. I think everyone who's playing the game actively and not just on Discord and is maybe moving through space in some certain spaces, which Delve definitely is included, you see a lot of bots. And it's really sad to see, because that's exactly what was one motivator of this war as well, to basically push out players to make room for bots because they're more efficient in making ISK. And it's a sad story, but it is like it is. So it's also a lot of fun to go and hunt these bots. It's difficult to kill them. They are getting smarter and smarter. Like subcap bots and all those systems, they are programmed to dock into POSes and not to Citadel and stuff like that. So it's more difficult to catch them. But it's very easy actually to block them, because they react to grays and local. You just need to put the gray in local, and they're not working.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the pixel changer. Yeah, the pixel color changer program will notify them and destroy their scripts. In case you didn't know how some of the botting programs out there work, there's quite a few of them out there actually. Kind of interesting. There are no bots in this game, just lots of solo BS that are really good at warping the minute you arrive in system. A lot of them being...
Well, unfortunately, it's not like this, because it was a lot of fun to hunt those solo battleships, but meanwhile, it's also a lot of supers botting, so to prepare enough to kill those needs a lot of effort.
People are botting in supers?
Oh, yeah.
What?
I have them on the checklist, like 20 of them, so I'm trying to catch them, but it's a big challenge.
Yeah, right. That's definitely interesting. I'm sure you got them in your contacts. But
yes,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely ways you can get around them. Not around the bots, but to try and catch them. Do the logout method, bubble in the range of view, range or whatever, from the Citadel and all that type of stuff. But I've seen botting super vax. That's interesting. I actually haven't seen that. I just thought people are still doing vexers.
Well, Rambo, you just need to leave your home system and go filament around a bit.
This is very true.
It's all over the place.
I need to get out of crab space and just and actually do something. That is very true. So yeah,
it can be a lot of fun just exploring New Eden.
Yeah. I don't, with previous wars and all that, I've used to, I still have stuff deployed in void space. I still have stuff deployed in TSC space, and they're just, all my stuff's just sitting in hangars basically. But it's been a while since I've been down that way, Bell. But I don't know, maybe NICE will let me join a fleet with them. They probably will. And
yeah, sure, why not?
well, I think even then, some of the SHH, and if the pagan pilot can speak to it. And some of the roams and stuff that SHH is doing, I think, is in favor of nice. And though I don't really have too much time to do 3-hour roams and all that type of stuff, but Rambo can, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Yeah, at least Roslyn doesn't log out in a fight. That's good. That's true. All right. Yeah, so I don't really have many other questions about this conflict going down to this in the South right now. Ultimately, I did kind of just want to hear some numbers as to passes, citadels, large fleet wipes, anything of the other. If any of that's happening, super losses is always a good number to take into account as far as damage is done, and in every war, it's you can kill ratters, you can kill miners all you want, but it's the big toys that really matter. And so I was kind of seeing if I can get some of those numbers.
Oh, there were quite some super losses. I would just suggest to look them up on Final Blow.
Yeah,
Probably the most specific or accurate number, because I really don't follow up on everything, like, because we did not lose on our side for a while. Super. I think we lost in total two. One was a fun yeet, and another one was just some strange in-game bug where one pilot did not saw the sino but was fueled and stuff like that. But I actually don't really know how many supers were lost on TSC side in total. But yeah, that's definitely the big toys and the losses basically decide how much fun you have and how this is going to continue. But I think what also can create a lot of content is the approach how to replace them if you lose some. It's not that bad to lose some supers. You just need a team to enjoy to replace them together and stick together.
sure.
And that's what I experience in Ice like every day. I think the two supers which are lost were replaced within a few days by the community without even touching any SRP funds, basically by donations. So that's a lot of fun, and that's how you enjoy the game with such people.
I'm going to switch to my browser here, and I put in a search for victim, the space cows, so TSC, and you can kind of see some of the kill mails that are generated here. So let's see if we sort by ISK here. Might take a minute. I don't know if it will allow me. Oh, it will. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. A mammoth worth 17 trillion. Let's see, what is this? Million, billion, trillion. 17 trillion mammoth? What the hell? I think so. Final Blow has this unique feature from, where was it? It was saying that it was suspected to be manipulated or something like that due to like market manipulation or something like that. But 17 trillion in a mammoth? Jeez. Yeah. And what's interesting is there's a green on green right there too. So major F.
How many super losses the TSC had since July? I actually really don't know.
So let's do ship class and let's do super capital ship. So do you have a date that we can try?
Well, it was precisely the 1st of July.
Okay. July 1st to today.
Yeah, that's the Swift campaign.
Swift campaign. All right. Try this. All right. So they have lost, and the UI is buggy for me right now. There we go. Okay. So from July to today, we have 8 super carriers dead by PvP.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a
HTS,
lot.
Hell,
I'm surprised.
GHS, Atom, couple atoms in there. So yeah, there you go. And it shows the system and the dates too. So 7 July. So August. Heck, one was last yesterday. Oh, that was the Fasago killed his GHS Hell yesterday. A couple days ago, YPKA Sky Merchant lost the Hell from a disguised character. And those are the two most recent ones. Now, if I uncheck PvP and do a search, looks like we have 4 that were lost in DR. On top of those 8. And Sky Merchant again. Dang, lost 2 Hells. That was on October 11th. So there you go there. And then another Hell lost by DR. DR4 fail. RIP.
Yeah, well, now I can also understand better what some people mentioned. I don't know if that's true. Maybe someone from TSC can explain that. But a lot of people from TSC mentioned that the leadership raised their alliance taxes to 100 billion a month. So that explains now why, if they lost so many supers.
That's interesting. 100 billion a month for alliance dues?
Yeah, can someone confirm that? Maybe I mean,
Yeah, I mean
I
that's what
heard
I
it
was just
from
gonna
a
ask.
lot of people from TSC, but
I mean, I'm not shopping
I
alliances or
don't want to
anything, but
spread rumors.
dang, that makes me feel better about my neck of the woods. I tell you that. So seemingly, our stage has actually increased to 150 people, and so the stage is no longer full for those that are needing to join or had to leave or whatever. So yes, they have to pay 100B for security, but they don't get security. Good deal.
Oh, I just see a question in your live chat towards me. I would like actually to answer on that before
Go ahead.
some propaganda is created. I see Antoine is asking about Targon. If I read correctly what Antoine is writing, um, if we heard what Bell says, nice are the best, etc., but what's going on with Sargon, who scams his own corp mates and TSC and then join nice? What Bell thinks about it? Well, I honestly don't know. I have no fucking clue what happened there exactly. I just know the one side of the story. I tried to find out the other side of the story, which no one actually wanted really to share. And the people who shared it basically confirmed a bit the first side of the story. And the side Sargon told me was like that they had a corp super after the mergers happened 12 months ago due to the taxes, which CAE brought into the new corporation formed, OOB, and Bishonen, as the new CEO, lost this corp super and did not replace it. And then, like another player, I'm just paraphrasing what I heard, right? That's not my story. I'm not involved there anyhow. But that is the one side of the story that Bishonen lost their super and did not replace it. And then another corp mate donated his super to be the new corp super for people to be able to crap and stuff. And Bishonen never put it back in the hangar. And then Sargon like took all the corp assets and blackmailed him, give back the super to the player, or I will not give you back the corp assets. Kind of story. Just roughly summarized. And they gave back the corp assets, but Bishonen removed them from corp and actually scammed then their corp assets, which were also in the corp hangars, by removing their access to those corp hangars. So I don't know how true this story is. That was what I heard from Sargon. And like nuances which I heard from the other side, but no details at all, actually confirmed that. But that had nothing to do with anything them joining nice. Them joining nice was just how to say, to make those people not quit the game, right? Because they were scammed of their whole corp assets and they wanted to quit the game. And this has had nothing to do with the war or anything else. It was just to offer those players possibility to continue to play, which they did not have within TSC, and but also isolate them from the war. Like nothing with, oh no, you need now to fight against TSC and stuff like that. That's not the case. Actually, they're isolated, not participating in that as well at all. It was just to try to give them an opportunity to be able to continue the game, nothing else. So I hope this answers the question.
Sounds like we need to get him on the show. Yeah, interesting interesting story there. So it's, not the first time I've heard something like that happen. Yeah, I think it has happened
Yeah,
a
it's
couple
also
times.
difficult to get into details there because there are always two sides of the story,
Sure.
right? There are different people and different sides of the story, but basically, I understood that those guys left behind their former corp assets in the corp hangars of that new corp, which they lost access to, and basically had lost, according to their information, 1 trillion of corp assets and like all the basic stuff like Rorquals and caps and stuff. So yeah, they were thinking about quitting the game.
So I see the comment again about the Swift operation. So why was that even said? Was it supposed to be a Swift operation, and why hasn't it been?
I think that's a question for Stony.
Yeah. You could probably answer why it hasn't been.
Well, because the basic tactics from B's or the tactics for strategy from B is based on mental strength games. Like I'm playing the dominant guy on comms, and I'm dealing with children who will be scared of me and will do what I say. And it turned out that he's not dealing with children, right? That's all grown up people who play a game to have fun together. And they're not taking something like that seriously, and they're fighting back. Like basically, that's the reason why it's not a swift campaign. No one expected, obviously, or the strategy was based on, oh, no one will fight back. We will just take over the space.
Right. Turn them to renters or whatever, they would fold.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, interesting there. And let's see, I don't really want to harp too much more on it. I'd Stony had messaged me, but I'm not sure if he's in the chat yet. But I'm not sure if he was going to join from being late. So I'm just checking back with the dates here. But I'd still like to hear from him as to what's all going on with it. Obviously get the multiple sides from it as well, and trying to see. Not true. AOXBP bot and the others helping. That's the only reason Bell has a Citadel. Chuckles is your number one fan, Bell. I feel that there's a little bit of tension there. You guys need to get a room.
Who is that actually? I really don't know.
What was your question, Bell?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, yeah, that's I don't know either. TSC Void War makes TSC think they are strong enough to handle NICE, and now it's approaching the TSC disband. Interesting. Yeah, just seeing some of the on-air chatter about the conflict. It's kind of funny to watch there too. So TSC think they can win this war. I don't know. Seemingly, considering it's not a swift campaign as it was supposed to be, it seems like that they're having some difficulties trying to take care of business there. So that I guess that could be a congrats to you know the entities on the nice side.
Yeah, absolutely. But this goes in both directions. As I said, there are also a lot of great guys on TSC side as well, and a lot of corporations which I really respect for playing the game and actually fighting. But I think there's a lot of unclear politics behind the curtain, even unclear for all the members and even some CEOs, and which maybe even to Stoney. I don't know. I would love to hear from him. I was really curious. But yeah, looks like there's a lot of stuff happening in the background, which is really toxic.
Yeah. I'm gonna ping him and just see if he's got a minute, and if not, then we'll probably close it out too, and would have to reschedule for him to come on and talk about it. And it'd be possible if he could listen to this show and kind of figure out some of the story that's out there as far as how New Eden is kind of seeing how this conflict is unraveling too, because it's not just in kill mails or anything like that. It's Discord and politics and entities that aren't technically affiliated with these other entities that are involved as well. So there's a mixture of things that are happening here, and it seems like there's some confusion as to what's going on. This dispute has been happening for several months now. It's continuing on. It's not like it's getting stale or even like doesn't even sound like there's negotiations happening as far as any sort of ending like of the conflict, anything like that. So like you said, and in my announcement for the show today, I was expecting to have Stony on as well to kind of discuss this war, tell us some numbers, kind of the intent of it, that type of thing, and kind of get some more story to help bring this not necessarily out to the public for spotlight, but it's something to talk about, and it's not anything new. We've discussed wars in previous podcasts, and I used to have a co-host on the show that happened to be very high in the alliance and it ran an alliance, and so when it came to wars, SHH usually had some sort of foot in the door, kind of looking or seeing what kind of negotiations are happening or if they're a part of it, that type of thing. But now, nowadays with these wars, you don't really hear anything about it because people either don't want it to become public reasoning or, what have you. And they just want, everything to be done, in a couple days. And that turns out to not be the case. But when there's odd politics involved, like rent, and SOV dues being discussed and botting being accused of and all this type of stuff, and really truly wonder, what is the root cause of this, or could it be negotiated to make a settlement, that type of thing, and get it over with, because not only is it content for the entities involved, but some could even look at it as a negative. And for example, I'll put this into perspective. The what do you call it? The war that Taylor had started with Meow. I don't know. For the longest time, I thought it was a pointless war, and so I didn't really participate in it. And so you get that from kind of like the line members type of thing, and it's like, well, it's no wonder that people don't fleet up or anything, because they don't have the mindset of, hey, like, this is life or death type of thing. It's supposedly, quote unquote, for content. And so that doesn't really, I don't know, entice players to join up or fleet up or anything like that. So, you know, when you're fighting somebody else's battles just because, that can appear negative and kind of be just seem like it's pointless, right? And so it's like, why am I risking chips and IP and all this stuff just so one entity can
Exactly.
strong
I
arm
mean,
another one?
yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's an excellent point because I mean, I'm playing now ETH Echoes with most of the guys here in the audience since day one, and I think I participated now in like almost every, except few exceptions, almost in every war. And wars can be a lot of fun because that's what the game is about. But it needs to have some circumstances to make it enjoyable for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go, you fight, you have fun together in a group against another group, you lose something, you kill something. And it's very important. And I think that's what we experience in every single war, that at some point it needs to come to an end when it becomes toxic before people quit the game.
Sure.
And people get, again, time to recover from that. I mean, that's what happened in the Krapko War. That's what happened in the wars before that. That's what happened in the wars after that. And that's kind of the healthy factor, okay? Because maybe we can have another war soon when the people recover from that. But in this case, and that's really a very special difference to all other wars I experienced in the game. That's not the point. Like the people want to have some fun, and they form up to have some fun. Um, but it's not about this war is going to end. That's something which Beast stated clearly and later was confirmed. But the guys which he made deals with about the space, he wants just the people to bully out, to establish a farming alliance to print ISK for him, as he said. And that's something which is really toxic.
Yeah, that's understandable. And you know, I like to get both sides of that, right? So, but obviously we can't have Bizon, especially if he's quit and had moved on. But you know, if we can get Stony on and kind of clear things up as in intent, and you know, and when I was originally discussing this visit with him as to what to talk about, and that was kind of one of the things that I brought up is, you know, what's the purpose of the war and reasoning, you know, as to why it's happening, because a lot of people do want to know that, and they do want to know, okay, what are the possible outcomes of this? Do I just stay docked and let leadership deal with it, or do I have to start moving assets, you know, etc. um it's just, it's kind of just crazy how that the war, after months of, you know, going bleeding up and battles and past losses, all this stuff, how it could shape. And you know, that's why I asked too if it's kind of getting stagnant too after a number of months, because exactly that's kind of what happened with the Krapko War. You know, people stopped fleeting up, or they would fleet up and then they get wiped, and then it messed with their what do you call it? You know, they didn't want to fleet up anymore, type of thing, you know, because they kept getting wiped or whatever else. And it's just like, when is this ever going to stop? And eventually they're going to ask themselves that. And then basically, what's that saying goes? You think with your feet, type thing. See here. I got, okay. Are we using the chat in the stage? Because I am not looking at that. Can you bring it on general chat perms? Okay, so we have people that don't have roles here. There, they should have general chat perms now. There you go. Dang, there's been all sorts of people talking in here. I haven't been watching this chat. Rip. Yes, you have to react. You have to react to the welcome channel bot.
Looks like you touched today a very interesting topic, Rambo. A lot of people seem interested.
A lot of people do seem interested.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
a
this
lot
is,
of comments on the on-air chat.
yeah, and that's for sure. And even they, I don't want to speak for them, but I think like I said, I think we just need to clear up some of the confusion as to what's going on and call it at that. Because it seems like there's a lot of he said she said bullshit out there, right? If I were to quote Limp Bizkit, but yeah, it's just crazy, crazy. All right, so
Yeah, but maybe Stony will come and then he can actually share the other side. That would be really interesting.
yeah, and I'm gonna continue to stay in talks with him to try and get him on the show. But as far as today's show, I think we could bring it to a close now. Um, and leave it for another week to talk about things and possibly get some more stories and more sides as to what's all going on, or if there's negotiations happening, like anything along the lines. If we could just get some info, talk about it, if it has to be on the podcast, or if there's just negotiations happening, that'd be cool just to talk about. And hey, look, there is some progress. This is the latest on it, et cetera, et cetera. So now I was kind of proposed a spot to kind of host like a debate. If you recall, a number of months ago, we had a debate between major alliance leaders, with Jacoba and Stony was there, as well as Joda. It was a big thing back then, some months ago, and potentially, to get a moderator involved, to do another type of debate like that, and regarding the conflict. So, if something like that happens and we can do it here, that would be great. Right. So, but until then, until we get some more info, until we can get the other side, to talk or whatever, get some more stories out there, then, we could possibly do something like that. So with that being said, I think we can come to a close there. So, Beltoras, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on the show and talking and discussing with us about some of the stuff that's going on, whether or not Chuckles agrees with you or not. It is okay. But
Thank you for having me here.
and I want to, secondly, I want to thank the audience for coming in. We've had a full stage for the entirety of the show, and up until it opened up a little while ago for more people. I think we got some server boosts that allowed for the stage to increase its capacity. So I want to thank everybody for joining. Those that are going to be listening on podcast platforms and on YouTube, I also appreciate you and thank you for joining. And seemingly, I have not been as vocal as I wanted to be about maybe potentially finding some more co-hosts for this podcast too. So get some more people to talk to about everyday New Eden life, and go from there too. So if there's people that are interested in that, they could always reach me. As well as if there's anything else that's going on in New Eden that's interesting, or yeah, that is all interesting, because at this point of the game, with the amount of game news that we do get, we don't really have too much to talk about nowadays as far as conflicts go. So, whenever something interesting comes up, you could always shoot me a DM, tell your story, tell me about a kill mail, etc., that type of stuff. And my DMs are always open there. So yeah, B-Town said it right. Good fight or get fucked. So I just want to say thank you, everybody that has joined the podcast today, and we look forward to this event and as to what is coming up with it. And I did not prepare Blow Me Mountain this week because I was already anticipating a pretty long show, so I hadn't prepared it. But even though there is a Shanghai loss that happened this last week, I kind of wanted to make a spotlight about it, but decided against it for at least this episode. So until next time, I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving, those who celebrate it. I will not be having a show next week. As you could probably tell, I'll be out of town. And so I don't know, do I make an announcement? I just end it there. Yeah. No, I'll probably say something about it but because it's part of my Sunday routine. But regardless, everybody out there, fly safe. 07. We'll catch you on the flip side.